Jonathan hints at 2027 return. I will consult widely before presidential decision. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for more news after the break. Jonathan hints at 2027 return. I will consult widely before presidential decision. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your political update. Tonight, Nigeria's political atmosphere is heating up once again, as former President Goodluck Jonathan breaks his silence on growing calls for him to contest the 2027 presidential election. In a statement already causing intense reactions across the country, Jonathan says he will consult widely before making any decision about returning to the presidential race. The announcement has reignited national debate, sparked political calculations, and raised fresh questions about the future of Nigeria's leadership ahead of 2027. Could Nigeria witness one of the biggest political comebacks in its modern history? Or is this simply a strategic political consultation? Let's take a closer look. Over the past few months, pressure has reportedly been mounting on the former Nigerian leader from supporters, political stakeholders, youth groups, and some influential figures who believe Jonathan should return to active politics. Many of his loyalists argue that Nigeria is currently facing major economic and security challenges, and that the country may benefit from what they describe as Jonathan's calm leadership style and democratic experience. Responding to the growing speculation, Jonathan stated that he would not rush into any decision. According to him, consultations are ongoing, and he intends to engage widely before deciding whether or not to join the 2027 presidential contest. That single statement has now become one of the most talked about political developments in Nigeria. Political observers say Jonathan's comments are significant for several reasons. First, they suggest that the former president is not completely ruling out a return to power. Second, they indicate that behind-the-scenes political discussions may already be taking place among powerful interest groups preparing for the next election cycle. Since leaving office in 2015, after conceding defeat in a historic election, Jonathan has largely positioned himself as an international statesman and peace ambassador. He has participated in election monitoring missions across Africa and maintained a relatively low profile in Nigeria's day-to-day politics. But despite his quiet political approach, his name continues to surface anytime discussions about national unity, Southern presidency, or consensus candidates emerge. Now, with coalition talks intensifying and several political alliances reportedly forming ahead of 2027, Jonathan's latest remarks have added a new layer of uncertainty to the political equation. Supporters of the former president believe he still commands respect across different regions of the country. They often point to his famous 2015 concession speech, which many Nigerians and international observers praised as a major contribution to Nigeria's democracy. Some analysts also believe Jonathan could attract support from Nigerians who are frustrated with rising hardship and political instability. Others argue that his image as a moderate and less confrontational leader may appeal to voters seeking stability after years of political tension. But not everyone is convinced. Critics say Nigeria's political landscape has changed dramatically since Jonathan left office more than a decade ago. New political movements have emerged, younger voters are demanding fresh leadership, and powerful political blocs are already positioning themselves for the next election battle. Some Nigerians also question whether a former president should return instead of allowing a completely new generation of leaders to take over. Meanwhile, social media platforms have exploded with reactions following Jonathan's statement. While some users are openly encouraging him to contest, others insist Nigeria needs entirely different faces and new political ideas. Political hashtags linked to the 2027 elections quickly began trending as Nigerians debated whether Jonathan still has the political strength to compete in a highly charged electoral environment. Interestingly, some political commentators believe Jonathan's consultations may not necessarily mean he plans to run. Instead, they say the consultations could also involve discussions about national unity, coalition building, or supporting another candidate. Still, the fact that he did not reject the idea outright has kept political observers watching closely. Another major issue now dominating political discussions is the question of power rotation. As conversations continue over whether the presidency should remain in the south or return to the north after the current administration, Jonathan's possible involvement could significantly reshape political alliances. Some southern groups reportedly see him as a unifying figure who could attract broad national support, while others believe political parties may prefer younger candidates with stronger grassroots mobilization structures. Within opposition circles, coalition talks are also gaining momentum. Several parties and political actors are believed to be exploring strategic partnerships aimed at challenging the ruling establishment in 2027. Jonathan's position in all of this remains unclear, but analysts say his influence could become a deciding factor even if he chooses not to contest directly. So what happens next? Political insiders expect consultations to continue quietly over the coming months. Meetings with traditional rulers, regional leaders, party stakeholders, youth organizations, and influential political figures are likely to shape whatever decision Jonathan eventually makes. For now, no official declaration has been made. But one thing is certain: the race toward 2027 has already begun far earlier than many expected, and every major political statement is now being carefully analysed across Nigeria. Whether Jonathan eventually joins the race or not, his comments have once again pushed him into the centre of national political conversation. And as Nigerians continue to battle economic uncertainty, insecurity, and rising political tensions, many citizens will be watching closely to see who eventually emerges as the major contenders for the country's highest office. Will Goodluck Jonathan make a dramatic return to the presidential ballot in 2027? Or will consultations lead him in a completely different direction? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breaking political updates, national developments, and exclusive reports from across Nigeria and beyond.
Participate in the electoral process. Yes, you have asked me to come and contest the next elections. Presidential race is not a computer game. But I've heard you, and I'll consult widely. But the most important thing is in Nigeria that the young people will have hope. A Nigeria that will plan for our grandchildren.
And that's all for today on Top Accolade News Nigeria, your trusted source for real stories, real voices, and real impact across the nation.